Housing Department has received criticism for demolishing 51 houses in Lenasia last week. The MEC in Ntombi Mekgwe defended the decision, saying the houses were built on illegally purchased state land, and individuals were repeatedly warned as early as 2006 not to build. On the flip side, however, the South African Human Rights Commission has approached the South Gauteng High Court on Monday to obtain an order preventing further demolitions. Now, joining us in the studio to discuss this is Andile Mqutama. Andile, good morning to you.
Morning for you.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. First, what is your sense of what's going on in Lenasia? What's your reaction?
I think it's a combination of issues. One is the internal, collapse and chaos from the department. Because when you listen to the people, actually as far as back what the minister is saying, the MEC, people were allocated stand. There was the whole process under Paul Mashatile as well to support small developers, and they were allocated stands by government. And in fact, the whole process, if you look at the papers, and I hope the court will look at those papers, you'll see that in fact there was agreements at different points between those who develop and government. So the idea that everybody just sold land illegally is a pure lie, in fact.
So government is lying?
Absolutely. I think, yeah, if you go and see, you'll see some people were allocated stands, and then of course there was something called the anti-corruption that were brought in by Nomvula, our premier right now. Even under its regime, you see the emergence of another layer of corruption. I think a lot of people say, actually, that was the problem.
But they've said the matter has gone to court. The court has verified that there was corrupt behavior here, and there's a court judgment that says people must move, and there's an individual who was arrested as well.
But yes, it depends what you put before the court. I mean, that's the first thing. You know, that's why I say there's so much lies and distortion. The community, the resident association there, actually was prepared to appeal that court decision. Together with the other MEC, Memezi, who is left, they said, Memezi said to them on paper, stop the appeal, withdraw your appeal, let's enter into negotiations. So that the process was supposed to be negotiated. Now this new order, nobody knows where it came from, go and demolish, abandoning the process of negotiation. So I think it's brutality and arrogance of power and refusal to simply listen to legitimate concerns of people.
Yeah, given the fact that this land was set aside for low-cost housing, it is possible that this was merely a group of people trying to jumpstart an RDP housing ahead of a long queue.
It's also another lie. That in this place where people have been, the houses have been demolished, these houses were not for low-cost housing. Yeah. I followed the South Lenasia quite closely. There's an informal settlement there called Tembelihle. The people of Tembelihle were never ever promised to be moved to this place. In fact, they're always being pushed away and evicted and forcing violence of the state. In fact, our government has built a mall close to where Tembelihle is said, the informal settlement. There was never any discussion about this becoming a low-cost housing process. So again, here is a lie. I think that we must call, the department people to come and actually tell the nation how come they have allowed such a situation to continue, and lie very openly about this land was set aside for low-cost housing.
The MEC was saying, we cannot allow lawlessness to obtain in a society such as this. Could this matter have been dealt with in a different way?
Absolutely. This idea that courts can be used to brutalize people, it's an apartheid idea. The fact that the state, every time there's a need to engage people, you bring the police, you arrest people, you demolish, you kill. I mean, we see in the papers, even the DA is killing people. The political class in this country seem to have decided it's going to use the state for its accumulation and in its relationship to the people to unleash violence. And I think this is now what brings the ANC and the DA together. They are not going to listen to people. Here, we should have a very easy situation. People are in houses, they have built these houses, let's regularize that. Countries that can do that, by the way, even when there's been illegal occupation of land.
The argument is you're allowing lawlessness to
But you need justice. In South Africa, you need justice. We have a history. This government cannot talk about lawlessness, They have not built houses. They have not made sure that the constitutional precepts of this country apply to everyone. When people take initiative, this government go and demolish and talk about lawlessness. This is a little bit ironic, if I think not stupid, quite frankly.
Yeah. So where to from here, in your view?
In my view, firstly, they must stop the court case. Yeah. They must stop the demolitions. They must build their houses immediately. The ANC must apologize to this nation for allowing this sort of mayhem, which reminds us of apartheid, to continue. And lastly, they must pay compensation. If you go there, children parents. People have nowhere to
But
stay.
they're saying that in those houses that were demolished, there were no people living there.
It's a lie. I mean, one of the houses was not demolished only because the mother and the children told them straight up, you'll have to kill me inside this house. This idea that people, why would you build a house and not live in it? I don't understand. There is a problem in this country. I think we as citizens must stand up now and make it clear to our government that we will not allow the use of the state, to attack instead of saving our people. I think the ANC and the DA have lost any sense of what it means to have a democracy that responds.
So this
to the
is
people.
a missed opportunity.
It's a huge,
engage with the people, find a way to say what is the value of the land. Can you pay for this land?
Not only this, but to support initiatives like this from the people. Yeah, yes, they're very interesting situation. These people are not asking for government to help them. A government that knows that there's a backlog of housing, what it would have done is to encourage such initiatives, make sure that they operate within the law, make sure that in fact there is a to and fro between the people and government, and answer a big chunk of, by the way, there's a problem with the policy. If you can't qualify for an RDP house, you can't get a house in this country. And these people fall within that gap, and they're taking initiative. Praise them, support them, don't punish them.
All right. Andile Mkutama, thank you very much. Andile joining us, talking about the situation in Lenasia. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with him, or do you think Andile is going too far? Tweet at Mbuli Vuyo, text